Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon and today we're finally making a vegan cake. It's been a long time coming and that's because I've been spending quite a bit of time doing experiments and baking all different vegan cakes so I could develop a recipe that I was actually happy with. This is quite a fudgy sort of a cake. If you're after more of a traditional sort of airy cake texture, I'll put another recipe on the website. To make this cake though, you will need flour, sugar, cocoa powder, flaxseed meal, vegetable oil, vanilla, baking powder and water. And I'll put all the recipe quantities on the howtocookthat.net website for you and I'll link to that below. Add the sugar and the cocoa powder. Now I'm using cocoa powder and the main difference between this and cacao powder is that the cacao powder is made from unroasted beans and the cocoa powder is made from roasted cocoa beans. And so because of that, the cacao powder has a much higher oxygen radical absorbance capability, which basically means it has a lot more of the good stuff in it. But we're going to bake this cake in the oven. So I'd only suggest using the cacao powder in recipes where you're not using heat because it's a lot more expensive. And if we're heating it anyway, we're going to reduce that amount of good stuff in it. But it is important to say though, even normal cocoa powder still has a very high amount of the good stuff compared to other foods. Add the flaxseed meal. Now this is replacing the eggs. Some vegan recipes use applesauce, but I experimented with that and found it just sunk in the middle. It's just adding more sugar to the recipe, while the flaxseed meal gave it a bit more structure so it had a better shape to it. Add in the oil, water, vanilla and baking powder and mix it together until it's just combined. You don't want to overmix it. Pour that into 2 round lined baking tins and bake at 180 degrees C. For the frosting, you'll need almond milk and vegan chocolate. Just check the ingredients on dark chocolate and find one like this that doesn't contain any milk in it at all. Heat them together in the microwave in 20-second bursts, stirring well each time until you get a nice smooth ganache. And once that is good and it looks like this, put that vegan ganache in the fridge to chill. Once the cake looks ready, pull them out of the oven and insert a knife into the center. Now, if that knife comes out clean, they're done. Run your knife around the outside and then just leave that to cool in the tin. Now take some icing sugar and dairy-free margarine. Again, just check your ingredients and make sure you find one that you're happy with and whip them together. Once it's smooth, add in the ganache that we just made and whip it through to make a beautiful, rich vegan chocolate frosting. Now, if you don't want it quite so rich, you can use a bit less ganache, but I like it to be quite chocolatey, so I add a bit in there. Place one of your cooled cakes onto a cake stand and add a generous scoop of frosting. Spread it out to make it level and then add the other cake on top. Then use a spatula to cover the top and the sides of the cake all the way around and put that in the fridge to chill. Once it has chilled, give it a thin second coat of frosting and take your time doing this. We want to make it look really nice and neat. Now to make our decoration for on top. Melt some more of the vegan chocolate and spread it out on some acetate. Once it's just starting to set, draw lines across it using a knife. And yes, you will need to temper this chocolate if it contains cocoa butter. And you can find my tempering video on the chocolate playlist on the How to Cook That channel. Then immediately place a rolling pin in the center and wrap the chocolate up and around it and press the ends together. And you might want to put something on that just to weight it down so you don't have to hold it. Take a thin strip of acetate and cover it in chocolate and then carefully sit that inside a baking tin to make a ring. Once that is set, spread out a circle of chocolate onto acetate, a little bit bigger than your baking tin. Then add the ring of chocolate that we just made. Make sure you take that acetate off it before you put it on. On the inside of the ring, sprinkle some sliced almonds because they'll go nicely with the dark chocolate and add a bit of crunch. Then once that starts to set, run your knife around the outside of the ring. To make our bow, remove the acetate from the curls and gently break them apart. Arrange 6 of them in a circle and then add some melted chocolate into the centre. Now add another 6 curls in the gaps in between each one of the ones you put there for the first layer. Then add a few more to the centre. Just add as many as you can get to fit so that it looks like a full bow. Take off the extra chocolate from around the lid and then carefully place the bow on top. And if any break off, just add them back into place using a little bit of melted chocolate. Pile up fruit on top of your cake over to one side and then rest the lid on top of that. And there you have a beautiful vegan chocolate cake. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to How to Cook That for more cakes, chocolates and desserts. Click here for the recipe, here for my YouTube channel and here for more cakes. This cake was requested by Natalie, Willowfish, Hannah, Emma, Gabrielle, Jem, Clouder Lemonade, Sani, Brando, Samantha, Rebecca, Marin P, Fry, Felicia, Hayley, Danielle, Mariori, Danny, Jenny, Bookworm, Nisa, Maya, Bargashri, Saf, Slaff, Elise, Lawrence. My name is Michael, Karen, Damien, Alice, Snow Bunny, Minto, Shannon, 05 Lotbra 22, Paige, Fawn, Blake, Ida, Banny, Adele, Mariko, Blue, Iro and heaps more. Share this video with a friend, make it a great week and I'll see you on Friday.